All right, Shalom, Yahba Shem Yahshua Barakatah, Shalom Yahshua Tava Shem Yahshua. We're at the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. All right? This is the Brotherhood Tuesday class. You understand? Make sure that y'all tune in to the our Monday through Friday classes here in South Carolina. Got excellent priests and officers out here bringing this truth that Commander General YAHANNA gave us. You understand? To the Carolinas and all throughout the earth. All right? Today's topic is going to be about the 1-year rule. I had brothers, you know what I'm saying, hit me up about, you know, dealing with sisters in the school. And of course, you know, we have protocols and we have rules in the school that'll help you better understand or that were made to keep you safe. All right? Every rule and every protocol that Commander General YAHANNA has set up in the school was set up to keep brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, safe and to protect the integrity of this brotherhood and also the school. All right? Also, we're going to talk about instruction and why it's important to obey instruction and the wisdom of the men in the school who gave you these protocols for your benefit. All right? The first scripture I want to start with, if you could get from me, is Proverbs 15 and 31. Okay? All right? We're going to get that and then we're going to go into the 1-year rule. If you have any questions, please type in your questions. If I don't know the answer to your question, I'll get back to your question at the next class. You understand? Or I'll let one of these other officers who may know the answer to the question to speak on the question or to answer the question. All right? If you could start with that scripture for me.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 31. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
Read that again.
The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Anybody in the chat? Any officer that's present, sister, if you want to answer, just explain to me what that means in the scripture. That scripture is talking about. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
I know what I think it means.
Go ahead, give it a try.
That a person that hears the law is wise.
That's what it means. All right? That's what it means. A person that heareth reproof, somebody who is able to be taught, will dwell amongst the wise. Just like the men in the I.S.U.P.K, we dwell amongst the wise because we hear reproof. Unlike brothers and sisters in the world, they don't hear. You know, a lot of brothers and sisters in the world can't be told, you know, what they should and should not be doing without being emotional or upset or, you know, or you know, coming up against you. Or this saying those who hear the heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. Read 32.
Verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. Why does he despise his own soul if he refuses instruction? Go ahead and raise your hand. If you want to answer the question, just raise your hand. Just you look like you want to answer the question. You got it if you want to answer it. Go ahead.
I'm not quite sure, but it sounds like if a person doesn't want to listen to the law, that they're choosing death. That they're choosing death because the law is life. You choose it to live, if you rebuke it and die.
You want it. That you right, but can anybody just make it more simple? Can somebody simplify that, what she just said? You want to give it a shot? Good.
I was just gonna say, a person that rejects the law go under their own understanding.
Right, exactly. And then what ends up happening because they go on to lean onto their own understanding?
That's when they lose their life.
They lose their life. They lose their life, man. That is a very important thing to understand, is when you don't adhere to the instructions of the men, the wise men in this school who were taught under Commander General YAHANNA, who was taught the oracles of Christ, then you lose your life, man. And it doesn't have to necessarily be your physical life. It could be that your life, the life that you live right now, could go into turmoil. And you have to live with it for the rest of your life. You understand? And the reason why I brought this scripture out is because the security, the so-called security announcements that you hear us read at the end of these classes are read for a reason. They're important. All right? It's giving you instruction. These instructions are telling you what to do and what not to do. Okay? And the reason why they're in place is to make sure that you don't go and destroy yourself. All right. That's why that's why we were given the truth, why we were given the laws, and that's why we're given protocols and rules in the school. These are not to burden or to harm brothers or to make you feel like, oh well, I'm a prisoner. I can't do nothing. I don't have any freedom or liberty. That's not what the protocols are for.
Right.
The protocols are meant to save you. Okay. So if you could read that part one more time, and then we're going to go into a security announcement.
Come. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
So in other words, he that doesn't listen to instruction, he despises. He preferred death. He is somebody who doesn't care about his own life. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't care about your life, man, death is imminent. I mean, just let's put it in perspective. Let's say, for instance, you go and you just have to have that whore, or you just have to have that cigarette, or you just have to have that weed, or whatever wickedness out there. You just have to have it. And you've been told, and you've been instructed not to do that. You've been instructed not to go chasing after those things, and you do it anyway. Then you're somebody who cares nothing about your life.
Right.
You're somebody who cares more about getting high, or having sex, or being evil and wicked in whatever way that you're being evil and wicked. That's what you care about. You know what I'm saying? So you despise your own soul. All right? Any more in that scripture?
Come.
All right.
But he that hears reprove, getting understanding.
But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. Because if you don't get reproved, if somebody doesn't tell you how to do, how to live your life, or how to follow the law, statutes, commandments, or give you the wisdom to be able to deal with, everyday things, then you're going to go and you're going to fall. You're going to lose your life behind it, because you were too proud to hear what the truth and what you needed the essentials of living, basically. You understand? And so, but a person that heareth reproof, they get understanding. And the understanding that they get keeps them alive. You know what I'm saying? If you somebody who never ever in your life heard that you could get diseases from sleeping with whores, or that you can get diseases from all kinds of manner of things. If you've never heard that in your life before, and somebody says you should stop doing what you're doing because you're going to mess around and get a disease, but then you go back and do it anyway, you're refusing instruction. And there's only one outcome that can come from somebody who chooses to refuse instruction, and that's death. All right? Give me the security announcements if you could.
Come.
All right? And of course, again, there are many other outcomes. You know, again, it might not just be you losing your physical life, like you passing away, but you could be entrapped in a life full of turmoil because maybe you married the wrong person. Maybe you married somebody who doesn't have the Lord's interest in their heart. And so then now, because you had sex with that person, you're stuck with that person. And we know, according to the Bible, that sex is marriage, right? So then now, if you're somebody who just has to have sex or who just has to be with this woman, not caring about anything else other than what you can get out of it or what sex you can get out of it, now you're choosing to add something or strike to your life that you wasn't prepared for, that you didn't have to have, but the only reason why you got into that was because you chose not to hear instruction. This is instruction right here that this brother's about to bring out. You was about to say something?
I was about to say, man, just
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
it's for people that it's just choosing a woman is like going to the store and getting a pack of food without reading the ingredients.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't know the ingredients. You just see a sausage there. You know what I mean? A pack of sausage. You don't read the ingredients. You could be eating pork.
Right.
Man, of course, that's unlawful to God, and you have to go. You know what I mean? You have to suffer the consequences of committing those sins. So you have to find out what that woman's ingredients is. What kind of woman is this? Like, what kind of things she's dealing with? And that's the things that you find out when you do that, follow that 6-month rule,
Damn
all
right.
the limits and everything like that.
Damn right. Damn right. Give him a hand. That's absolutely right. Give him a hand. You about to say something?
What kind of season she got?
What kind of season?
What type of seasoning she using?
And it's the truth. And don't get me wrong, it's the other way around for sisters also. You know what I'm saying? Because this 1 year rule is also to protect women inside of the school too.
Right.
Because you do not want to get with a man who is not built to take care of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is going to leave you to do everything on your own because he doesn't have the strength or he doesn't have, you know what I'm saying, that UPK that you need in him. You know what I'm saying? So it works. That's the importance of this 1 year rule. Go ahead and read. Let's get into it real quick.
Come. The I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Star out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only.
Okay, stop right there. Does anybody online or in this room not understand that? Anybody online or in this room right now, do anybody not understand what that is saying? I'm sure everybody in this room understands. Is there any brother that's a trooper or a young officer that's watching that needs to understand that, needs a better understanding of that? Read it one more time, Mark.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. Star out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months.
When you are a new brother or a sister and you coming into the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General YAHANNA, you are off limits for how many months?
6 months.
6 months. You understand? That's 90. What is? How many days is that?
That's 90 days.
90 days. You
Oh, no,
understand?
6 months, that's 180 days.
180 days. So like it, my math is off. No sweat. All right, so that's 180 days that you are off limits. You are off limits for 6 months. Does anybody understand that? That's a young man or a young sister coming into the school. Keep reading.
They are to be saluted only.
You're to be saluted only. Who understands what that means? So if you are to only be saluted only, what does that mean you cannot do? Anybody want to answer that? Feel free. Go ahead, Adam.
You can't be in the sister inbox.
Cannot be in a sister's inbox.
Inboxing. Should not be having like side conversations, like, just pulling the sister to the side, you know what I mean? Asking her what type of things she like, you know what I mean? What her interests are, who she be with,
Damn right.
what numbers to dial.
Right. God, for sure. Anybody else want to add on to it? Anybody in the chat room? She is to be saluted only, meaning Yahweh Shamar Alatah by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that's it. You understand? You are not to be trying to pull off to the side. Hey, sis, you know, I'm kind of digging you. You know, go and let the general know that, you know, you can't do. Go ahead,
Brother said, Yahweh Shema al by Shem Shah only.
Damn right. Damn right. Who was that?
That's true, Bashar.
Give that brother a hand, man. Damn right. For sure. That's all you do. You understand? Don't be in them inboxes. Let me tell you something. You get up in them inboxes if you want to, and somebody's going to expose you. You're going to be looking like a straight dummy on Facebook. Go ahead.
Like I was going to say, I mean, the sisters, man, I mean, they're like so disciplined in the school. I mean, of course, they're going to take screenshots of everything and report it to their camp leader. And I mean, even a sister in the world, she's going to expose you too.
That's right.
I mean, because she's going to screenshot it, send it to your homeboys, and in some way, somehow, it's going to get to your camp leader, and then bam, you caught up. I mean, you pretty much jammed up.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. You're going to look like a fool. You understand? Right. You're going to look like a straight up fool, and you're going to look like you have no discipline. You understand? Because one of the first rules you learn in the school is that rule. Because it's said after every class in every school in the UPK. You understand? Go ahead. You have something to say, Art?
That's why they're going to expose you, because UPK, we pride ourselves on discipline and, you know what I mean, honor and respect, order and decency. So one of them sisters is waiting for a brother to slip so they can put him on blast. And it's not because to make him look bad, but it's to make the school look bad.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? So we represent the school, so you got to be following those instructions.
That's right. And don't think that, oh, nobody going to find out. I guarantee you after a while, somebody's going to find out. She's going to say something. You understand? So don't be trying to be sneaky in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Don't be sneaky in this body, because the last thing you want to do is for everybody to learn that you are an undisciplined person, man. Right. That you cannot control your lust and your desires, and you can't wait for a certain time to be with a woman, or you can't even call a man to request, a sister in the school. Do that. You understand? It's important, and it protects you and it protects her, man. And another thing is, don't rush no sister that is trying to shed herself for the world. And same thing goes, the other way around. Sister, don't be trying to rush no brother that is trying to shed himself for the world. Let him shed the filth of the world off of him first, and then go and inquire on whether that brother or that sister is available.
Right.
You understand? Or else you're going to marry somebody who might still be struggling with drugs. Go ahead, Otto.
That's why the scriptures say a wicked woman is given to a wicked man.
Damn right. That was one of my precepts too. Most High Christ. Give that brother a hand. Hey, man, listen. It is the truth, man. What he said is absolutely true. You know what I'm saying? And you might be given to a man. You might rush into a marriage and be given to a man that might be still struggling with drugs, man.
Right.
Or he might be still struggling with homosexuality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then what you gonna do? You gonna get on Facebook? Oh, my man, I caught him doing this and caught him doing that. So you married him. You didn't want to follow a simple rule. So now for the rest of your life, you have to be married to a man who secretly likes men.
Right.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. You're married to him. It is what it is. Or the same way, other way around. I'm saying you just can't wait to get that box. You can't wait to get that woman. No sweat. And you get that woman, and guess what? She is a monster secretly.
Right. And
it's about to come out as soon as y'all lay down and have sex.
Right.
And then it's over with then. You might as well deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So the 1 year rule is very important. Keep reading out.
They are to be saluted only.
Saluted only. Nothing else. Keep going.
They are here to shed themselves of the world.
They are here to shed themselves of the world. Brothers and sisters come into the I.S.U.P.K to learn their identity and learn how to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to please the Lord.
Right.
You understand? And they cannot, you're taking their focus away from what they should be doing by trying to be secretly in their inbox and trying to persuade them to, have sex or whatever it is that you're trying to persuade them to do. You know what I'm saying? When you should not even be talking to that sister. You understand? And then if you want to talk to that sister and she is eligible and you're eligible, then you should call who? Anybody want to answer that? Go ahead, Doc.
Camp leader.
You should call her camp leader or the captain over her city, man. Automatically.
That's right.
You understand? It's just like going to a man. It's just like going to a sister's father and saying, you know, I want to marry your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's the proper way. Like everything we do in the I.S.U.P.K is biblical.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The man that's over her, that's watching over her and protecting over her, and that's teaching her. That's the man that you should go to, and you should inquire on that sister from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be up in the, because that's the same as stealing, man. When you go up in the inbox and you not gonna wait for this sister to get her name and to shed herself with the world. You just gonna go ahead and take her away because you feel like you just gotta have her that bad, man. That's wicked and that's greedy as hell, man. And the Bible is against a person who is greedy. That's against the law, man. That's a sin to be a greedy, filthy bastard that just has to have every woman and any woman that you think you can have just because you have some sort of lustful demon on you, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that you adhere to these, you know, to these rules. And being a young man coming out of the world, I can absolutely understand, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, you fighting demons and you trying to get yourself right. You understand? But these protocols is to help you to get there, man. These rules, these laws is to help you to get there. You know what I'm saying? And if you start disobeying these rules, then you ain't doing nothing but revealing yourself to further to still be a wicked person or a wicked bastard, and what your true intentions are. And so what ends up happening is you get exposed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And it never turns out good for brothers like that, man, because they end up falling out of the school. Long story short, they end up falling. Same thing for sisters. They end up falling out of the school. It never goes good. And not only that, so now you're embarrassed and you're out of the school and you're stuck with this woman that you could not keep your penis out of. You couldn't put your penis away for a minute, you know what I'm saying, just to shed yourself with the world. You just had to have it. You know what I'm saying? And if you bounce back from that, Most High in Christ, man, it's a hard thing. If you bounce back from that, you know, that shows that you have a lot of strength, but brother, it's a difficult thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's very important that you follow these rules because the men that are here in the school, they love you. You know what I'm saying? They love you enough to tell you these things to keep you from ruining and destroying your life, man.
Right.
You understand? Keep reading that out.
If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it.
All right. So in other words, if you are in the school and you need transportation you know what I'm saying, to get back and forth to class or wherever, you know what I'm saying, you give us a call. You understand? Go ahead.
Like I was just gonna say, I mean, like when it says, you understand, like the teacher is going to arrange it. I mean, that's for you getting the class back to your home. Of course, if the teacher arranged for you to, like stop at a grocery store or anything of that nature, I mean, that'd be too wild. But it's mainly to go to class straight to the home, and that's dropping them off, not going in to see if they're okay, because everybody know what exactly that's gonna lead to. You're gonna go to the back room. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do a little Netflix and chill.
Right.
You're married.
Right. You know, and it can happen like that, man. That's why these rules are strict. That's why these rules are important to follow, because any little opportunity for Satan to come in and convince you to do something like that, all it takes is for you to you may call it a mistake. That one little mistake is gonna mess your life up, your whole entire life up. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord could decide to be merciful. He could be. He could take you out of that situation. Who knows? It's up to the Lord. But then maybe the Lord feels like you have to learn the hard way. Maybe he feels like you the type of the brother or sister that needs to stay with this person that you just had to have so bad that's ruining your life. You need to stay with him now, or you need to stay with her. You know what I'm saying? So it's all at the discretion of the Lord when it comes to that situation. But the point is that us in the I.S.U.P.K, as men in the I.S.U.P.K, as priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K, we are here to protect brothers who come into the school.
Right.
You understand? And that's why our protocols are set up, man. Any more on that? Keep going.
After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister.
So now after 6 months, after half a year, after your time being here in the school, you have shared yourself with the world, and you've also, you know, done additional time in the school. You have to do what? Read that last part again.
You have to get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister.
You have to get permission, what we just talked about. You go and find out from her camp leader or the captain of her city or whoever it is that's over her, and you talk to that person about it. So that brother can say she's off limits, you know, because you don't know what her situation may be. You on Facebook and she looking pretty. And you know, and she posting all of this good stuff up there, talking about the Lord, and you know, talking about, you know, UPK stuff, and she might be 100, she might be, you know, got you feeling like she just 100% down with the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? But then you end up finding out the hard way when you decide you're not gonna follow the protocol, and you just gonna go and sneak and find this woman, sneak up with her and have sex with her, and you find out she's not that woman that's on Facebook. And same thing with men on Facebook. You as a woman, you just gotta have that man so bad. You know what I'm saying? And you end up finding out that man on Facebook that's talking real good and real suave, and he dropping precepts, all the steps. He dropping all of the precepts, and he just got a slew full of them, and it make you hot and bothered, because this man is just 100% with his precepts. He can break down scriptures like it ain't nothing. And then you marry this brother because you end up breaking protocol. That, first off, that should be your first sign that brother was not really in the truth. That should be your first sign that brother wasn't really disciplined, and maybe he does have the gift to remember precepts and break down precepts, but that brother has a demon, and you had a demon, and you dealt with that brother, and now y'all both are exposed, man, and y'all both now have to deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself through that. Don't destroy your life like that. Go ahead, keep reading up.
There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other.
So now you request this sister or you request this brother, and the camp leader gives you, or the captain, whoever's over your city, they give you the go ahead to marry the sister, or to court the sister, or to, you know, to talk to the sister, court or whatever, or court the brother. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if you've been in the school for a while, you know that it's not just go ahead and court her. There's counseling that goes on with that. And it's important. Why is it important that we counsel brothers and sisters through their courtships? Go ahead,
I was gonna say, to make sure that they are compatible for one another, and to make sure that I would just say that.
That what he said, making sure that they're compatible, but also keeping the foundation of their relationship pertaining to the truth, the laws, statutes, commandments, brotherhood, sisterhood, counsel, you know, all of those things which are righteous, keeping that the foundation.
Right. I mean, what he said, what y'all both said was absolutely right. Any brothers typing anything?
Yeah, he said to make sense, this is what they want. To make sure this is what they want.
Right. That's right, because at the end of that courtship, if y'all both decide y'all don't want to deal with each other, y'all keep y'all integrity. You know what I'm saying? Y'all righteously depart from that courtship, and you'll go and be in sister such and such, and you'll be brother such and such. You had something to say, sis? Go ahead.
I was just getting ready to say that prior to them courting in the UPK, every experience that they had been in the world, so they really don't even know what a righteous courtship is unless they're being guided. And
that's true. That's true, because what typically happens to brothers and sisters in the world that try to date? They don't even court. They go right to it, man. They go straight to the sex nowadays. Nowadays, it's, you know, this is courtship. A brother might say something about her tailbone. You know, am I right? Somebody say something about his tailbone, and then next thing you know, he tailboning. You know what I'm saying? Time 5. You understand? So like it, but That's what it is nowadays. It ain't even like back in the day where brothers used to walk up on the sister and speak that game to her.
Right.
It's not like that no more. Today it's just sex right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? There is no integrity with relationships, and that's why so many of our women are being made whores. And that's why so many brothers are on child support. So many brothers are in prison behind, damn near killing a woman who damn near tried to kill him. Just so many things, man. And that protocol, listen, that protocol is a strong thing, man.
Right.
That protocol was a very, very strong thing, and Barakatah YAHANNA for Commander General YAHANNA, man, for bringing up that protocol. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead,
I was just gonna say that part of the process, getting permission to court is that ingredients portion, you know what I mean? You finding out what this sister consists of besides what you see with your eyes.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like what is the demons that she's battling? What are her vices? What are her pros and cons? The things that she might do that annoy you, that might be a deal breaker.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? She might be a sister that, just pat her head all day, pat her weave, and that's just something you ain't cool with.
Yeah, it might turn you off.
Right. So you during that time, during that phase, you and the sister as well find out from each other if this brother has what I want and is what he doesn't have worth me, I guess, sacrificing for, you know what I mean? So
Right. And you
dealing with for the rest of your life.
And no sweat, that was absolutely right. And we as Israelite, we as black people, we are petty, man. So, she can bite her nails, and I don't want to deal with it. That's how a lot of brothers is.
Some people you want to see them feet, and they like,
right? Yeah, we petty. Yeah, so
some feet fetish.
Right. So now imagine you didn't take the time to go and request this sister, or you didn't take the time to go request this brother, and you just saw what you liked on Facebook, and you went and met up with that sister, and you had sex with that sister, and then you find out that she got roaches in her house. I'm sorry, you married a woman with roaches in her house, and that's what it is. Help her fight the goddamn roaches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or the same thing, vice versa. If a woman go and have sex with this man and find out that he be watching gay porn or something. You got a man that watch gay porn. Shalom, sis. Yeah, or shitty draws. Salakia, excuse the language. You know what I'm saying? Or he might got stinking feet, dirty socks all the time. Maybe he like to hop in the bed with with dirty clothes on, his work uniform on. Maybe you don't like that. But you wouldn't have never known because you didn't follow the protocol. Go ahead.
And then also the importance of that courtship is because people don't understand. Yeah, I taught this in the last class when I taught the Brotherhood class about sex being marriage. People look at it when we say sex is marriage is that we're reducing marriage down to something as simple as just sexual intercourse.
Right.
But what we're doing is we're actually increasing the value of sex to the expectation of marriage. You know what I mean? So it's actually the opposite of what they thinking. So with that being said, this courtship, you have to know, there's no such thing as divorce. When you marry this person,
that's right.
You're gonna be with them for the rest of your life.
That's right.
No ifs, ands, buts about
that's
it.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? Well, we're gonna go our separate ways. You have to deal with that person. You have to deal with that brother. You have to deal with that sister, and that's it.
Damn right.
So
what? Give me a precept. Pertaining to you can't throw away that woman. You know what I'm saying? Give me something in Matthew where Christ said it. Lest it be for what? Fornication. Find that precept for me.
Could I add something?
Go ahead, sis.
Even the devil knows that sex is marriage. He knows that because if you get their way of getting married, which is that business arrangement, if you don't actually have sex with that person, they call that the marriage not being consummated, and you can dissolve it. So he already knows.
Right.
We just don't teach it to us.
Right, and that of course, because we envy our oppressors, you know what I'm saying, and because we love our enemies so much, we follow after them, and that's the reason why we do it. That's the reason why we don't want to follow anything that gives us instruction as to how to live a healthy life. You know what I'm saying? It's because we decide to do what they do, and you right. They know it. You know what I'm saying? Our enemies know it, but they choose not to do it. Go ahead. You have something to say?
Got the scripture and precept.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Hit it.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery.
You committed adultery, man. You cannot put that woman away for any other reason. You understand? Now I know this goes into the law, and this is the brotherhood classes, but the reason why I'm bringing out these scriptures is in the name of brotherhood, man.
Right.
I'm bringing this out in the name of brotherhood because I don't want to see none of my brothers and sisters fall because they could not follow or obey rules, man. I'm showing you brotherly love, and the same as Commander General YAHANNA has taught all of us coming into the school, man.
Right.
You understand? The same thing that Christ, spoke on this earth. The same thing that our forefathers, understood and knew about brotherhood. They came out and they told us things that would help us to get through life. You understand? That would help us to avoid making those type of mistakes. You understand? Because Israel is hard-headed, man. We done fell so many times behind, by not listening to counsel or by not listening to wisdom or, choosing our own ways, leaning into our own understanding. You know what I'm saying? But now we have men that have been raised up on this earth in this day's time that have been, who were given the authorization to teach what Christ taught. You understand? Hamashiach Yahushua in the Hebrew, what he taught, you understand, so that we could live our lives the way that the Most High intended for us to, and so that we could avoid, such things as adultery or fornication. You understand? And so that's why Christ said you cannot divorce, you understand, lest it be for fornication, meaning that you can't put that woman, once you have sex with that woman, you can't put that woman away unless that woman goes out and has sex with another man. You understand? You can't do it, or she has what the Bible considers unlawful sex.
Right.
All right, because that's what fornication means. And Christ was very stern about that. The Bible was very stern about that. So you got to understand, man. When Christ gives you a commandment like that, you are to obey, man.
Right.
You are to obey. All right. You got any more of them security announcements out? We got anything in the chat room? Anybody had anything to say? No sweat. Go ahead. All right.
It says, after this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry.
All right. So after 6 months, when you come into the school, you do 90 days. They're saying you shed yourself for the world. All right. Then you get your name. All right. If you are accepted into the school, and if you've shown your diligence and proved that you deserve to be in the school, after 90 days you get your name. After that 90 days, you are off limits for another 90 days. In total, that's 6 months. Okay. After those 6 months, you are eligible to call a camp leader or captain and say, Salakia, sir, that woman over there, she looking bad. You know what I'm saying? I want to court her. Or, Salakia, sir, that brother, he looking mighty handsome. I want to court him. You know what I'm saying? And then afterwards, he can approve or disapprove. And when if he does approve, you'll court her for 6 months, or you'll court him for 6 months. And then after those 6 months, you will be what? What does the last part say?
You will get permission from the head to marry.
You will get permission from the head to marry. All right? That is our protocol when it comes to marriage in the school. Is there any more on that?
It goes to the ties.
It goes to the ties. Okay, we done with that part. All right, that's all I wanted to bring up. So that, if you don't understand that, if you're in the South Carolina camp, make sure you call up these officers and you get this understanding. All right, as much as you need to. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that you can't ask something multiple times. Like if you need this understanding, if you need this broke down more and more and more, then keep asking the question. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that you don't go and break these rules, man. These rules are very important. All right, but nevertheless, follow the protocol, man. Get me Hebrews 13 and 17, man. All right? Give me Hebrews 13, Salaki, what I say, 13 to 17. All right? You know what I'm saying? It does you a good thing coming into the school to be obedient and listening to instruction. All right? Because the men who are already here, we've already seen, we've been through some seasons, some winters. All right? And we know what comes and what goes. You understand? And you coming in to school, you don't know a damn thing. You understand? You don't know anything, which is why you have to be retaught everything. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why the reason why we tell you to listen to the men above you is because the men above you are the ones who are watching over you, man. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure, you want to say something, sis?
I don't know what people finish what you're saying. I just
Oh, no, sweat, go ahead.
I just want to know, what if you never feel like you ready to court anybody?
What if you feel like you never ready to court? What do you mean?
Like you just don't feel like you're ready to court anybody.
If you're not ready to court, you don't have to. You don't have to court. You don't have to. Are you just saying? Are you just asking? As far as.
So I know, I don't know if it's expected that you find a husband or what have you.
Right.
But what if you just content being a sister in the school?
Well, I don't want to tell you anything wrong. So what I would suggest you do is give Captain Nyathak a call and ask him that question. All right. But what I do understand and what I do know is that you don't never have to be pressured into getting married. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point in time, you should want to get married. But you don't have to go and get married. Like you don't have to. At the time, fine, no sweat. Maybe there's things that you want to, get yourself right before you go and do it. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, go ahead. Say that again.
Sometimes with women, age is a factor.
Right.
Get to a certain age, you might.
Right. And like I said, nevertheless, just give Captain Nyathak a call on that and let him answer that. You understand? All right. You got the scripture from me out? Go ahead, out.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17. Mm-hmm. Obey them that have the rule over you.
Obey them that have rule over you, man. Keep going.
And submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
We got men out here in South Carolina, man, who watch over your souls, man. You got officers here. You got Precinct Officer Dawadah. Of course, you have myself. You have Precinct Officer Mardakia, Precinct Officer Aban Kara. You understand? You have Precinct Officer Natazah Gabar. You have men who have been in this truth. You understand? Who have had a couple of seasons under their belt, who can help you to understand. You understand? And who you should be obedient to. You know what I'm saying? You should adhere to it. So if a brother has to ever come to you and say, brother, listen, that thing you said earlier, you should not say that. Or brother, that thing you just did earlier, you shouldn't do that. Or brother, hear this. This is how you're supposed to carry yourself, or this is what you should be thinking about. These men don't care about your soul. These men care about your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason why. So, and it could be very difficult when you're first coming out of the world. When you're coming out of the world to adhere to the instruction, because you were never the type of brother that listened to anybody in the world. Like you did your own thing. You know what I'm saying? But now you come into school and somebody has to tell you what to do. So now, you know what I'm saying, if you want to live, you're going to listen to these men in the school, man. You're going to listen to these men in school when they say, listen, you want to deal with this sister or you want to deal with that brother, call up the camp leader, man. Do it the right way. Get counsel as you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? That way you and that woman can be happy and content knowing that y'all chose each other for all the perfections and imperfections, man. You understand? Go ahead.
As they that may give account, that they may do it with joy.
You know what I'm saying? Because when any one of these brothers get ready to talk about you, we want to give a good report, man. I want to be able to say, man, Officer Mardakia, you know what I'm saying, he obeys, or Officer Dawadah, or anybody, they obey and they, you know what I'm saying, they do what they supposed to be doing. They always following protocols. You know, they don't never, they always work, they're zealous, all of those type of things. I want to be able to give you a good account, man. Keep going.
And not with grief,
Mm-hmm.
for that is unprofitable for you.
All right, man, because I don't want to have to be saying anything negative about you. I don't want to have to be saying, oh, this brother, he just can't get right, man. So I don't want to have to be that way towards you. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to talk about my man like, my men out here, man, they do everything they're supposed to be doing, and they get counsel, and if anything go wrong, they know how to deal with the protocols, they know how to everything, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very, very important that you adhere to the instructions of these men. These men are trained up out here to teach you. So for all of y'all young troopers that are coming in, you know what I'm saying, make sure that you obey the instructions. Read that scripture again.
Hebrews 13:17. Obey them that have the rule over you.
Obey these men that have rule over you. You understand? Because we obey men too. Don't think that we don't obey men. You know what I'm saying? We got men above us. We got captains and we got generals that are above us, and they have to correct us. They have to give us instruction. And we obey. We say con out of one con. You know what I'm saying? Or we say la sir if it means we have to say la sir. You know what I'm saying? We endear these brothers like they're our fathers. These men that are above us, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna endear you. What's that scripture? If y'all could put, I think General Muhammad brought it out this last class. It's the scripture that talks about endearing a man above you or elder like a father, and endearing a man below you like a brother. You got that scripture? If you could bring that out for me real quick. See if you can find that. You understand? While they find it, I'm gonna continue on. So y'all young brothers coming in, don't ever look at it like, we just chat, we just being, evil or mean to you and stuff like that, or we just have some, we just being malicious, or we just trying to push you. You understand? When that's not the case, man. You understand? Like we are the watchers, or we are those that watch over your soul, man. We are those who care about you, and we want to make sure that you don't make the mistakes that many men in the world make all the time, man. To make the same mistakes that men go out there and make those mistakes and ended up finding out that they got AIDS, or they have a baby by some woman that wants to put them on child support and ruin their life. You understand? You don't want to be that man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the man who can't control his lustful desires. You know what I'm saying? Be the man who is disciplined, who can show the men above you that I know how to function, and I'm not, I'm not the type of brother who can't follow orders, or I'm not the type of brother who can't follow instructions. I'm not the type of brother that you gotta look at closely and make sure I'm not doing something wrong. Like be a predictable brother. Be a brother that I know that I can leave you around here and you gonna do what's right, man. I know I can leave that brother over here. He's gonna do what's right. You know what I'm saying? I know that, if I send this brother with this sister to go here, he's gonna go there with that sister and he's gonna come back with that sister and ain't nothing happen. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing sexually or out of order happen, man. You understand? Be the type of brother that can be dependable. You understand? Y'all find that scripture for me yet? No sweat. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If I can, I'm just gonna move on to the next precept.
It says endear.
It doesn't use the word endear. If I'm not mistaken, I do know that it uses. Hold on 1 second. I know the word elder is in that scripture.
The word what?
The word elder. got it?
I believe this is one. I'm gonna start reading it. If it's not this.
If it's not it, we'll just move in. But go ahead.
Count. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father.
That's it right there. The word is entreat. That's the scripture. Read that from the top again.
Count 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when, you know, with us brothers, you know what I'm saying, when we dealing with men above us, as you should, you know what I'm saying, when you entreat a brother that's above you, you deal with them like a father. How do you speak to your father? Like if your father is doing something wrong, you know, or somebody doing something wrong that's above you, how would you entreat them? How do you deal with them? How would you deal with them? Go ahead, Ike.
With the utmost respect.
But how? Like, give me an example. Go ahead, Ike.
Go ahead, you about to say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say following their commands and following everything that they tell you to do.
That's what I'm about to say. Following their instructions, you know, doing what they told you to do, basically.
So, okay, so when you entreat if you have something against your father, let's say for instance your father, or let's say for instance a man above you, you know what I'm saying, let's say he does something wrong to you, right? Let's just say that he might have offended you. How would you talk to that man? Because remember the scripture says rebuke not an elder. So how would you talk to an elder if that man he offended you? How would you deal with him?
Brother True Bashar got an answer.
Go ahead.
True Bashar said, if they are above you, you tell them in the humblest way that they know better and they taught you better.
He was in class. Yeah, that's right. That's it. So if a brother, so in other words, if a man that's above you, if he offends you, you know, in any kind of way, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna come to that brother and you're gonna say, well, you know, Salaki, sir, you know, that's not what you taught me. That's not how we do things around here. You know what I'm saying? You taught me that. Salaki, sir. You taught me that. You know what I'm saying? And then if you dealing with a brother that's below you, keep reading that scripture out.
And the younger men as a brethren.
And the younger men as a brother. How would you speak to a brother that's below you or that's the same rank as you? How would you talk to that brother? Anybody know? If that brother offends you, how would you talk to him?
The same way, you know what I mean? Just try, like the scripture said, go to he alone.
Right, come.
Go to he alone, to see if the brother hears you, you know what I mean? Just as a brother, you know what I mean? Like I said, like treat him like a brother, basically.
Right. So I mean, and that's what and that's the thing. That's the order of it, and that's what we're here for, man. And the thing is, if you ever, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna talk to you like a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna talk to you like a brother because y'all are young men that are coming up in this school. And if there's something, you know what I'm saying, if there's something that you're doing, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna come to you like a father would. We're gonna say, well, Slack, y'all, you know, that thing that you saying, that thing you doing, you should not be doing that, man. Like I wouldn't say that to my father. Like, Slack, yes, sir, you know, that ain't what we're talking. But with you, with a man under me, or a man under, you know, under the rank of another brother, that brother would deal with you like a brother. Like, brother, that's not what we do here. You know, that's the kind of correction you would give a brother. It sounds a little different. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what so when we come to you in that way, you know what I'm saying, take it as brotherly love. Take it as us saying, you know what I'm saying, I love you, brother. I don't want to see you die. So that's why I'm telling you this right here. That's why I'm saying follow this guideline. That's why I'm saying this right here. If you don't follow this, you'll die. If you don't follow this, your life is ruined. You understand? Do we got any comments or anything before I go to the next scripture?
Trooper I.S.U.P.K was just saying the same thing from confronting the brother.
Right, okay.
Still show respect for the next brother.
Right, con. But you just, the only difference is that, you know, you being a little bit more of a brother than, you know, in the situation when you're dealing with it. All right, so let's get, so like if I could, give me Proverbs 19 and 20.
book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 20. Hear counsel.
Hear what?
Hear counsel.
How do you get counsel in the I.S.U.P.K? You got it.
Call your camp leader. The request for counsel.
Do it have to be your camp leader?
Tell them on concert. That would be the order that it should go in.
I mean, yeah, you could call your camp leader, but then I mean, in certain situations, you might have permission to call a certain captain who may be an actual counselor, or you might have permission to call a general who, you know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have General Muhammad's phone number, you know, and talk to him and get counsel from him. So yeah, so the order of things would be go to your camp leader, you know what I'm saying, go to the captain of your city. In some instances, you would go and get counsel from a brother who may have been assigned to your situation. You understand? So,
It's like,
go ahead,
Brother Shar, Trooper Shar says, you call the men above you, then appoint you to the right leaders to handle it.
Right, and because maybe what you need counsel for may not be something that I know. Like maybe you call me and you might have a issue with something very specific and I know nothing about it. So then what am I gonna do? What would I do? Go ahead, sis.
Ask the next person.
I'm gonna go call somebody. I'm gonna call the next man above me. I'm gonna call Captain Nathak. If he don't know, he gonna call somebody who's above him. Somebody he gets counsel from. And we're going to get some answers. You understand? So hear counsel, all right? You get counsel in the school. If you got any issues, any problems with anything, call for counsel so you can get some instruction. Get counsel on money. If you about to spend money, get counsel. If you about to get married, get counsel. If you about to, whatever it is, just name some things. Name some things you would need to get counsel for.
Everything?
Just everything. That's perfect. Just get counsel about, to be on the safe side, get counsel about everything. You know what I'm saying? Get counsel if you don't know if there's something that you should get counsel for, just go get the counsel. Just keeps you on the safe side. You know what I'm saying? And don't look at it like, well, you know, I'm not going to bother this brother over this small thing that might not. Once you start thinking like that, you're letting Satan play with you now.
Right.
You can't think like that. Think like I'm going to wake up 3 o'clock. I'm gonna wake somebody up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get some damn counsel if I got to. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're available to do in this school. Keep reading.
And receive instruction.
Receive instruction, man. Receive instruction. If I give you counsel, it's up to you whether you take the counsel or not. If I give you instruction, I'm giving you instruction because this is what you should be doing, and this is how you will accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do. If you say, sir, I want to be married so bad, I gotta have a woman, I need a woman, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's righteous to have a woman if you want a woman. Or, sir, I want a man, I gotta have me a man. It's righteous to have you a man, but here is how you get a man. Here's how you get a woman.
Come.
Here's how you get a man, here's how you get a woman. You understand? Follow those instructions. I don't mind you having a wife, brother, or sister. I don't mind you having a husband. You want a man? Yeah, he's a nice, handsome man. He looks like he could be good for you. You know, brother, yeah, she's a beautiful woman. She look like she could be good for you. But just follow these instructions. Follow the 1-year rule. And you could have that woman. Or you could find out you didn't need that woman in the first place. You understand? So it's very vital that you follow these instructions, that you follow instruction, man. Keep reading.
That thou mayest be wise in the latter end.
That thou mayest be wise in the latter end, meaning in the future. Meaning that, you know, once you receive this instruction and it comes time for you to apply this instruction, you'll have it. You'll have it. You understand? You'll remember, you'll say, you know what, like I remember in class, or I remember when I got counsel, you know, a few months back, brother told me this and told me that. You know, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna remember that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that. And then you do it, and then the outcome is the way you want it to be, man. It's a righteous outcome. It's raining outside. Oh, okay. Read that one more time. All right.
Proverbs 19, verse 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy letter end.
Right, man. You understand? Any questions on the computer?
Live, sir. No questions, John.
All right, and these things, go ahead, sis.
When we went to the Passover, when I came back, I had lost my slavery, and I called General Muhammad and he gave me some counsel over it, and then he gave me some instructions as to what to do, and part of it was to kind of look out for something else of the Most High. Probably had something better for me in store, and not to really worry about what they had done. And at the end of the day, it was probably about 2 weeks later, the main guy that had something to do with me losing my slavery, he got put off to the side. He's no longer with him. The guy who was the general manager, he got let go.
I think I remember you telling me that one time too. Yep.
I mean, and it all came down, and then even down to the owner. He's Lebanese, but he's a Jesuit priest. And he right now got 2 sexual harassment cases against him in 2 different states.
That was the Lord right there. The Lord went and he fought for you. You know what I'm saying? And General Muhammad told you, General Muhammad is a priest. Give General Muhammad a hand, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? That the Lord was going to give you something better, and it happened. You know what I'm saying? And that shows that these are truly priests and prophets in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. Excellent. That was an excellent story. I remember you telling me that too, man. And that devil got exactly what he deserved. All of them. All of them got exactly what they deserved for coming up against a daughter of the Most High. You understand? Did I give you another scripture or no?
Live, sir.
Okay. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. All right. You know, and the thing is, you know, protocols such as this protocol, man, they're put in place for a very, very, very strong reason. And that's to keep you alive. And I know I've said that before. You know what I'm saying? But think about how much temptation there is out there to do anything. Like you, especially when you're somebody who is coming in the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? When you coming in the truth and you done finally shuck that weed addiction, or you shook that addiction to having sex with whores, and you shook that addiction to being a filthy liar and an evil pedophile, you know, whatever addiction that you shook. You came into the school and you became a righteous man in the school.
Right.
And there are going to be temptations. There are going to be times where Satan is going to be trying to get you to go back to that. Because Satan's job is to filter the kingdom of heaven. Right. You know what I'm saying? His job is to keep the wickedness out. You know what I'm saying? So things will pop up in front of your face. Certain happenings will happen to see what you would do. How you will respond in that particular moment, in that time. You know what I'm saying? So, but what you got to understand is that in the world, there is no protection. So when you're in the world and you go out there and you think in your mind, I'm gonna go find me a woman, or I'm gonna go find me a man, right? And you are confident in it, and you go out there to the clubs, and you go out there to the what are some places people like to hang out other than the clubs? Just parties, bars, whatever. You go to these places and you find this woman, or you find this man, and you have sex with this man, and you have sex with this woman, and this woman turns out to be a whore, or this man turns out to be some homosexual, some, closet freak, some disease-ridden man, or, woman might be some kind of disease-ridden woman, you know what I'm saying? But you married that woman, or you marry that man, they might be crazy out of their damn mind, but who is going to protect you? Who's going to give you counsel in the world? The Christian church? Is the goddamn Christian church going to save you from, You know what I'm saying? Some woman that's trying to bash your brains out at night while you're trying to sleep, or you know, is the Christian church going to give you the right counsel when you know when your baby mama put you on counsel? I mean, put you on child support. Is the Christian? What is the Christian church going to do? Nothing. What the Christian church is going to do is they're going to look at you and they're going to deceive you. Go ahead, sis. You want something to say? They're going to make the situation worse. Exactly. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to ask, they're going to encourage the sister to put the brother on child support. They're going to encourage that to the T.
The same church you're going to, you're going to go get some counsel from that pastor, and that pastor just got done having counsel with her, telling her, yeah, go ahead, sis, put him on child support. Put him on child support. You understand? And so he's absolutely right. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis.
I say he's probably dealing with her.
Exactly. And
whatever he tells her, you gonna be against you because of what, you know, whatever you got going on with her.
right. He's not going to help you out because he's having sex with her. Because he's coercing her with his money and his riches and his power and his nice tacky suit. And his nice tacky shoes. And she just in love with that Bentley he got. In love with that Mercedes and all them other cars he got in that private jet. She loves all of that. And so she's having sex with him. And what do you, who's going to defend you? Who's defending you when that greasy, dirty, disgusting church is against you and is siding with that monstrous woman that you with? Who's going to defend you? You understand? It's not going to be the Christian church. You understand? And then you not in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sis.
Well, in that kind of situation, it usually gets even worse because most Christians, they try to line up their thinking together. So even if you just have a problem from a particular pastor and a particular congregation, if you run into any other Christian, whatever they hear a Christian thought was appropriate or right, they're going to jump on the bandwagon with it too. So then they're going to basically feel like the whole world is against you.
Right. And that's the truth, man. That's the truth. I'm saying, follow that protocol. You got that scripture for me out?
Come.
Go ahead, read.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taketh you, but such as is common to men.
All right. All temptation is common, man. It's common to men. Being a man on this earth, you're going to deal with temptation. All right. Keep reading.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
You understand? There's only so much that the Most High is gonna give you, or because the Most High don't tempt, but there's only so much temptation He allowed to have in your life. You know what I'm saying? And your temptation, the temptation you have might be tempted by lust. Like you might be tempted by whores. You might be somebody who just have to have sex. Let's just bring it into the school, right? Let's not even just say somebody who's in the world who like to have sex with whores, right? Let's just say, for instance, you might be a brother who is, who just has a sexual desire, who just desires to have sex. You know what I'm saying? You want to have sex, and you particularly want to have sex with a woman in the school. You want that woman bad. You may not want to touch the women out in the world, but you want to get all the women you can in the school. Let's say that's your problem, your issue. All right? So then Satan is going to tempt you to do what?
Be with those women, go after them, seek after them.
I mean, it's more specifically based on the topic, what we talking about. What is, if you are somebody who just, you in the school and you just scoping out all of the sisters in the school, you just scoping them out because you got to be with a sister that bad. You're not thinking about the protocol. You're not thinking about the right way to approach this situation or how to deal with it, but you just scoping out all the sisters thinking about which one or who you're going to deal with. You know what I'm saying? What is that? What is Satan going to do? Like, what is he going to convince you to do?
Go against the protocol.
Go against the protocol. Go against the rule. And what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be inboxing that sister like we talked about earlier. You're going to be inboxing her. Keep reading.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape,
But what?
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
So now you're being tempted, right? You're like you're tempted. Satan is tempting you because you want these women so bad, and you got to have them. But the Most High gives you an escape, right? An escape that nobody has in the world, because in the world, you understand, nobody is telling you don't sleep with whores. In the world, nobody is telling you to don't do drugs. Nobody is telling you to not be a whoremonger. Nobody is protecting you. Nobody is giving you an escape. Nobody is saying, hey brother, you don't do that. But in I.S.U.P.K, the Lord gave us that escape from that temptation. And that escape is the I.S.U.P.K. That escape is the protocols. That escape is the rules and the regulations in the school. Hold your point real quick, sis. Those rules and regulations, you understand, the school is their escape. Because while you fighting them demons and you fighting that temptation to be with to go and have sex with anybody and everybody, you know what I'm saying, you have men who can come and say, or you can go to and say, brother, whatever you do, follow these rules and you'll be okay. Follow these rules right here and you won't have to worry about being a Facebook star, a Facebook sensation. Got your name and everything, your picture and screenshot it all over Facebook, and all of the disgusting things you can think of inside of her inbox exposed to the world. Did you go ahead and say something, sis?
I was just getting ready to say, when you were talking about all the things that the world doesn't tell you not to do, not only do they not tell you not to do it, they encourage you to do it, and if you don't do it, then they try to make you feel like something's wrong with you for not doing it. Like a man that doesn't run after a whole bunch of loose women, they'll laugh at it.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. So in other words, just like like some men will call another man gay because he don't do what he do. Like maybe he's the type of man that run through women. And if a man, there might be that man who only wants that one woman that he's dealing with, or maybe he just, whatever. And then he has, and so they pick on him. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly. They shame him for that. And so they make it look bad, but then now he thinks that that's the standard. That's how it's supposed to be. He feels like, okay, apparently I'm not popular. So in order to be popular, I need to go do what everybody else is doing. Go ahead, sis.
It's almost like they try to shame you into sin.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will say is this: if you are a brother in the school and somebody's ever trying to pressure you into doing something or, shame you into sinning, you make sure you let somebody know, man. Or you first go to that brother and tell him, your offense. And that brother ain't trying to hear you, you make sure you take it up and get that demon dealt with, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing we want is for brothers, first off, to be embarrassed by another brother in the school, or torn down by another brother in the school. You know what I'm saying? Because you got 10 wives and okay, maybe he don't have a wife or he don't have but one wife. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So all of those things, these are the reason why we need to stick to the protocols and the rules and the regulations in the school, man. The reason why it's so important.
Right.
Got anything online?
Sir.
All right, I'm gonna get the scripture down that I already pulled out me, Ecclesiastes 26 and 23. If I could. You know what I'm saying? Because then now you married this woman, right? Or you married this man and you thinking, oh, well, because that happens, it happens a lot, man. Like it happens when, you know what I'm saying, you marry this woman and, and she finds out that you so wicked, or you marry this man and you find out that he's so wicked and this and that, but then you think yourself to be just this angel of light, like you just the greatest thing ever. But the only reason why you're with that man is because you were wicked. The reason why that man is so damn wicked is because y'all both were wicked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that scripture is talking about. Go ahead and read.
Come on, concert. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
A wicked woman is given to a portion to a wicked man. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all came together and y'all chose to break the protocol. Y'all both were wicked, man.
Right.
You understand? Y'all both were wicked. All right? Y'all both smoked that weed. Y'all both did all of that. Any wickedness that she did or that she is doing, you agreed with it when you got with her because you didn't even give it a chance to find out if that was the type of woman she was. You was just ready to accept her lifestyle.
Right.
You understand? And that's the importance of the protocol because if you, like the brother said, when you have sex with that woman and you don't go and find out what kind of woman she is, or if you go have sex with that man, you don't find out what kind of man he is, you're accepting who that person is.
Right.
When you could have not accepted that person by going through that protocol, finding out that this person won't beat this addiction they have. And so now, and then when you're following the protocol, you get that counsel, you finding out that that man and that woman ain't trying to beat that addiction they have or that demon they have, you can walk away because you ain't had sex with them. Go ahead.
If a woman does that, it almost looks like she be in a worse position. Because if she goes and get with a man and he hasn't fully committed to the UPK, he fall out. And she's telling to him, if you tell her that she got to leave, then what?
Hey man, that's what it is. Go ahead. Go ahead. Like one of y'all wanted to say something, but y'all raised your hand to say that time.
Now we started laughing because True Rashad wrote in the comment section the ingredients.
The ingredients.
The ingredients. You gotta find out what the ingredients are. And that's what I'm saying. Like that, like you said, that courtship. You break the 1 year rule. You're skipping past the important things to know. You know what I mean? Things like that. Because when you get into that marriage, like I said, you see brothers and sisters get into the marriages thinking that, you know what, I'm just going when the going gets tough, I'm gonna just start acting different. That way she wanna leave me or he wanna leave me or we can separate. But the Lord is in control of all of that. And he's gonna make sure that you pay for throwing a sister away, man. He's gonna make sure you pay for throwing a brother away. He's gonna make sure of it one way or another.
Right.
So don't think you're escaping something or you're gonna get off easy by just maneuvering your way out of a relationship because you're done with it. No, man, you should just follow these instructions. Get with a sister that's righteous. You understand? Get with a brother that's righteous. Obey those instructions and those laws and commandments. Find out what this sister is dealing with, and if this is what you want to deal with for the rest of your life, vice versa. And no one should consummate that marriage. That's it forever, man. You better go to counsel if going gets tough. Go to counsel because you know what I mean. Like it's not good to try to work something out by yourself.
No, and you gonna get plenty of it if you marry the type of woman that you didn't want to be with,
right?
Or if you marry the type of man you didn't want to be with, you gonna get plenty of counsel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you should get plenty of counsel, because fools don't get counsel, man.
That's right.
Because what happens is you go without counsel and you start doing things on your own, and then you make it worse, man. Like he said, you provoke the Lord against you because without you saying I'm putting you away, you're indirectly putting that woman away. Are you looking for ways to push her away because that's what's on your spirit, man? When in reality, you know what I'm saying, in righteousness, you should be ready to deal with this woman you made that choice with, because this such a masculine thing. It's an honorable thing too.
Right.
To deal with something, whatever decision you made, deal with the consequence.
Right.
If you're somebody who runs away from the consequences, you're weak, man. You're weak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Deal with the consequences and keep it moving. Right. That goes with anything, not just, marrying a sister and not getting permission to do it, but also, if you offend a brother, go to counsel and deal with those consequences.
Right.
Deal with whatever punishment you may get if you were the one in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Deal with that. If a brother's offended, you know what I'm saying, he comes to you, deal with that brother that's offended, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to run away from it. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for anything, man. It's just, we're supposed to be an aggressive nation. Aggressive nation. Not a passive aggressive nation. Whenever we got issues or faults with each other or anything like that, we need to deal directly with each other. You know what I'm saying? So just to bring that all the way back, man, once you marry that woman, You know what I'm saying? You can't throw that woman away. If you marry that man, you can't throw that man away. You know, that goes into the law about, of course, you know, not being able to throw a woman away or throwing, you know, because that would be considered adultery, of course. But none of that stuff would happen if we were following protocol. None of that stuff would happen if you follow the protocol and you adhere to the instruction of the men above you.
Right.
All right. So, like, let me scroll through my precepts real quick, see which ones I want to bring out. If anybody else want to bring anything out, you can go ahead and do that.
I know the sister Naima asked a question a while back in the beginning of class. I was going to give a scripture for it, but I have the scripture pertaining to if a sister is unmarried. What's the question again? Just so I make sure this precept is on.
Just
Please.
like if you just never get to the point where you feel like you are ready to marry, you're just content with where you are, being a sister in the school.
Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's different than what I thought it was, but you know what I mean, I know from past, you know, counsels and experience that if you're not ready to marry, then you shouldn't marry. You know what I mean? It's just because then you'll be putting yourself into something that you're not ready for, and then you know that wouldn't be fair for you or even the brother that you're going to be with. You know what I mean? It's just you know, before, like he said, forcing you into a marriage. You know what I mean? So. But it's like I thought it was something different. Whether if you're on like you're getting older or you know what I mean. You know, I thought it was.
Sometimes that's a fact.
Okay.
For women, they get to a certain age and they're like,
I'm done, right? Right.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, there would be other reasons. I mean, there's a lot of reasons you have a husband or a wife. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just like you know, like the Bible says, your wife is your helpmeet. You know what I mean? All of the great skills and things that a woman has, no matter what age she is, could be a great addition to a brother who is a warrior that's doing the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? To help him building his kingdom. It doesn't have to be as far as you know, giving him kids, or it has to be anything sexual. It could be anything, just comfort. You know what I mean? Support. You know, garments, anything else, like you know, just anything that brother needs. You know what I mean? Like it could be a lot of things that a woman could provide for a man. And also a man can provide for a woman, you know what I mean, outside of those things that are physical, you know. So, I mean, I would, you know, talk to a sister that, you know, thinks like that, you know what I mean, and tell her, you know, what type of things are you not really interested in, because there might be a specific brother that's not interested in either, but something that maybe y'all both are interested in it together, you know what I mean. This is what's more important to him or what he values. You have the same values, you know what I'm saying? So, but the scripture that I did have was, if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
The scripture was 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 9, and it says, but verse 7, chapter 7, verse 8, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. Meaning if you have patience, like just having that patience, you know what I mean, waiting to marry, you know what I mean, some, like you said, some sisters just not ready yet. Some sisters just are ready to marry, they just, you know what I mean, trying to wait it out, you know, follow the right, you know, protocols, instructions, and time. But it says in verse 9, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, you know, sisters want a man generally, you know what I mean? And like I said, there might be things, you know what I mean, that, you know, different levels, like some, like you said, even like a woman that might be up in age, she might not be trying to have no kids, you know what I mean? That might be one of the things, you know, pertaining to, you know, because that's very common with a woman getting up in age, not trying to have no kids, raise babies, you know what I mean? So they can find a man that's absolutely okay with that and understands that, and that can be something they get past and be able to give more of so much more than to one another than kids, you know what I mean? Because it's to be married to somebody is a very fulfilling thing, you know what I mean? It's a very fulfilling thing to have somebody, like the scriptures say, 7 women shall cling to one man, saying, you know, I have my this, I have my own this, I have my that. I just want to be called by your name, simply alone. You know, I want to be a part of the kingdom of such and such, you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, just fulfilling and being a possession, you know what I mean, for a woman and for a man having a possession. You know what I mean? So it's something that's good. So I would definitely get counsel, like the brother said, depending on the specifics of it. You know what I mean?
Damn right. Give me a hand.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm sorry.
Give me Ecclesiastes 26 and 3. I'm gonna close out on this scripture right here, man.
26:3.
Yeah, Ecclesiasticus 26:3.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 3. A good wife is a good portion.
A good wife is a what?
A good portion.
A good wife is a good portion. Keep reading.
Right. Which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
You fear the Lord, man, and you somebody who can follow instruction, the Lord will give you a woman, man.
That's right.
The Lord will give you a woman. You'll get a virtuous, and virtuous meaning skillful. You'll get a woman who can do. Just like General Muhammad said, he said women are like machines. They can just do anything, man. They can accomplish so much.
Right.
And if you got a woman that can do that, and she's just, you know what I'm saying, and you're a blessed man. You are definitely a blessed man.
Right.
But go get that woman the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you obviously have a problem with following instruction, then you don't really truly have the fear of the Lord inside of you, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the scripture says, read it again.
SHALAM. A good wife is a good portion.
A good wife is a good portion, man. Read.
Which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
If you fear the Lord, if you after the Lord's heart, if you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, if you obey rules, if you're predictable, if you're dependable, you understand, then the Lord will give you a woman. And you know how you're going to get that woman? You're going to get that woman because you were righteous enough to call up a captain or a camp leader over the city of whoever that sister is, or wherever that sister is, and ask permission to talk to that sister and to court that sister. And when you court that sister, if the Lord is with you in that sister's marriage, it will go good. And then y'all will get married and you'll have what you want. You understand? But if you are somebody who chooses to do it your own way and not go through and not play by the rules, or not go through with the rules of the school, then you lose out on getting a good portion, man. You're going to get a wicked portion.
That's right.
Because you were wicked, and the woman that you getting with, she was wicked because she knew the rules.
Right.
She knew the rules. She learns the rules when she come into school the same as you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because she's a woman that you feel like, or what some people use the excuse, the weaker vessel. You know what I'm saying? She knows the rules as clear as you know the rules.
Right.
And when you break those rules, man, and you and her break them rules, now both of y'all, you understand, or have to deal with each other and every wickedness that comes with each other. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to have to pray every damn day that the Lord allows y'all marriage to work. I mean, and that's what it is.
Right.
I mean, that's your life. And it either will, you'll either have that woman that eventually y'all both can reconcile and everything gonna be good and gravy for the rest of your life, or you might have that relationship where y'all constantly at each other's throats, but at least maybe y'all are righteous enough to continue going at each other's throats for the rest of y'all life.
Right. And what you're saying is heavy because when you have a man that fears the Lord and a woman that fears the Lord, they're going to be perfect.
Right.
And in any case, God forbid, that they fall or slip in the area, like a woman might, get in her feelings, for example. She might do something that's unrighteous. Because she fears the Lord, you can be able to use the Bible as the foundation for correction. You see what I'm saying? For corrections for that woman or for him as well to be able to come back to righteousness, to be able to get right. You know what I mean? Jump back to being righteous and being perfect. And that's another benefit of having a woman or man that fears the Lord, because if you got a woman that's just 1 foot in and 1 foot out, when she get her feelings, she gonna be like, to hell with YAHANNA, I.S.U.P.K, you know what I mean? Forget this Bible and all that and throw it all away.
Right.
She really don't fear the Lord.
No.
So what are you gonna use to correct her? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna have to be the Lord that's gonna have to correct her. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have to deal with that sister. And if you had, you know what I mean? If you had chosen a sister that feared the Lord, then you can be able to provide that correction and have a woman that can be, be corrected. I should say. So.
Right, absolutely. Give him a hand, man. Right. And then also to add, man, when you don't follow that protocol, I might have already said this before, and y'all, or one of y'all brothers might have already said this too. When you don't follow that protocol, man, you cannot expect that woman to respect you.
Right.
She's not going to respect you, because if you can't follow a simple rule, then why is she gonna say con out of one con to you? Why do you feel like she should say con out of one con to you?
Right.
Why do you feel like she should go and make you a plate of food? or if she should go and do work for the brothers, you know, go and make dinner for the brothers inside of the camp. Why do you expect her to do that when you couldn't even show her your level of discipline?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Over a small thing. You know what I'm saying? So she's not going to respect you, and y'all not going to have respect for each other.
Right.
Because you're going to be feeling like, oh, well, it's her fault, when really it was both of y'all fault.
Right.
And y'all were perfect for each other, because y'all both were wicked as hell, man.
Right.
That's all I'm going to bring out, man. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 1 West 125th Street. Started under Commander General YAHANNA. If you're in the Israelite, if you are trying to get into the school, contact your camp leader in whatever city you are in. If you're the South Carolina area, get in contact with the brothers here. You got Precinct Officer Dawada. You got, of course, myself. You got Precinct Officer Mardaki and other brothers here. Give them a call, you know what I'm saying, so we can get you into these classes, get your attendance taken. Make sure you're paying your tithes. You know, every time you get paid, pay your 10%. It goes to the Lord, man. It goes to the building of this truth, man. So make sure you do that. With that being said, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Shah.